The moving truck had barely stopped in my driveway when 3 police cruisers boxed it in like I'd just committed a federal crime. No sirens, just flashing red and blue lights splashing across the quiet street. Neighbors peeked through curtains, phones half raised. I stepped out blinking in disbelief until I saw her Margaret Peaton, president of the Maple Ridge HOA, standing proudly on her perfect front lawn, phone pressed to her ear like she was leading a SWAT raid. And all I could think was, how did my dream of moving into a tiny, eco-friendly home turn into a suburban war zone? My name's Nathan Brooks. I'm 35, used to work in tech until I got tired of performance reviews and fake team-building retreats. So I bought this little plot of land at the edge of Maple Ridge where the trees still outnumber the mailboxes. The best part? My lot wasn't under HOA jurisdiction. Some old property dispute had exempted it decades ago. I thought that meant freedom. No petty rules, no power trips, no letters about grass height. Turns out freedom in suburbia is the biggest provocation of all. The first time I met Margaret, I was pouring the concrete foundation. She appeared out of nowhere like a ghost with pearls and a clipboard. "Excuse me," she said, voice sharp enough to slice drywall. "What exactly do you think you're doing?" "I'm Nathan Brooks," I told her, brushing off my hands. "I own this lot." Her smile didn't move, but her eyes did narrow, cold assessing. "This is a single-family neighborhood. We have standards." "Good thing I'm not part of your HOA," I said, half joking. She blinked once, twice. Then she turned on her heel and started typing furiously on her phone, muttering something about unauthorized development. I didn't know it yet, but that was the start of her crusade. Within a week, I was getting letters, dozens of them. Some printed, some handwritten, all signed Maple Ridge HOA. They threatened fines, code violations, community preservation actions. None of it applied to me, but it didn't stop her. She showed up every time I was at the property, standing on the curb with her phone out, narrating like she was filming a nature documentary. "Day 4 of the illegal construction," she'd say loudly. The perpetrator shows no remorse. Then came the meeting. Tom, a friendly neighbor, told me later that Margaret had gathered half the neighborhood for a slideshow titled "Tiny Houses Equal Tiny Values." She'd photoshopped my future home to look like a shack from a horror movie. She claimed tiny homes attract undesirable elements. Someone actually asked if that meant drug dealers. She nodded. I laughed when I heard it, but the laughter didn't last. The next Thursday, I arrived to find orange cones and yellow caution tape across my driveway with a big sign reading "Construction, halted by HOA." I called the county inspector. He chuckled. "Is this about Margaret Peaton again? She's called us 17 times this month." When I started removing the cones, she came storming out like a hornet. "Those are official HOA markers," she shouted. "Margaret," I said, trying to stay calm, "your HOA has no authority here. I've shown you the permits, the maps. What more do you need?" Her face turned red. "I want you to respect this community. We've worked for years to maintain our standards." Then she stepped onto my property, jabbing a manicured finger at my chest. "You will not destroy everything we've built with your hippie shack." I took a step back. "Please leave. You're trespassing." She laughed. "Trespassing? I'm protecting property values. I'm doing my civic duty." She walked away after promising I'd regret crossing her. I didn't realize how literal that threat would become. 2 weeks later, moving day arrived. I'd been up since dawn, double-checking every document, every signature, every approval. I was ready for peace. But as soon as the truck backed into my driveway, those flashing lights appeared. "Sir, step away from the vehicle and keep your hands visible," an officer ordered through a megaphone. I froze. My movers, 2 college kids, and a retired guy named Earl looked terrified. And there she was again, Margaret, standing on her lawn, narrating into her phone like a reporter covering a hostage situation. The lead officer walked up. "Are you Nathan Brooks?" "That's me," I said carefully. "Got a call about suspicious activity involving armed individuals unloading illegal cargo into an unpermitted structure." I blinked. "Armed individuals? You mean the movers?" He smirked. "That's what the caller said. Margaret Peaton, right?" I nodded. He sighed. "You're good. All your permits are here on file. Sorry for the confusion." I let out a shaky laugh. Confusion's one word for it. By then, another officer approached and did a double take. "Nathan, dude, It's Jake Harrison. From high school. He grinned at me, then turned to his partner. Yeah, this guy's not starting a cult. Margaret's face twisted like she'd swallowed vinegar. Officers, you don't understand. This structure hasn't been approved by the HOA Architectural Committee. It's out of compliance. Officer Garrett raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, this property isn't under your HOA. He's followed every county regulation. But the aesthetics, she cried. Property values, Garrett said evenly, are not a police matter. Her confidence faltered. She tried again. I was being cautious. You can't be too careful these days. Jake folded his arms. Ma'am, false emergency reports are serious. You claimed armed individuals and possible cult activity. That's not caution, that's a lie. Her lips trembled. I'm on the HOA board. I'm a pillar of this community. Garrett's voice hardened. Being on the HOA board doesn't give you the right to waste emergency resources. You'll need to come with us, ma'am. Come with you, she gasped. You can't be serious. Not arrested yet, Jake added, but it can go that way. Neighbors started gathering. Tom stood across the street, hands in pockets, watching with an amused smirk. Margaret looked around for support, but all she found were phones recording her. This isn't over, she hissed. Actually, Garrett said it kind of is. Mr. Brooks, do you want to press charges? For a second I thought about it. God, I wanted to say yes. But the truth was, I was tired. I just wanted peace. Not at this time, I said quietly. I just want to move in. They led her to the patrol car. She shouted the whole way. This is persecution. You'll all regret this when property values plummet. As the cruisers pulled away, Tom crossed the street and clapped me on the shoulder. Welcome to Maple Ridge, man. You survived the Queen. I smiled weakly. You think she's done? Tom laughed. Oh, I wouldn't count on it. That night I finally sat on my porch exhausted but relieved. My tiny home stood gleaming under the sunset. For the first time in weeks it felt real. Then my phone buzzed. A text from Jake. Thought you'd want to know. Piton fined $800 for false report. Tried to pay with HOA check. Treasurer's furious. I couldn't help it. I laughed out loud. Sometimes karma doesn't wait. The next morning, Tom showed up again, grinning like a kid. Emergency HOA meeting tonight. Word is they're voting on her position. I wasn't invited, of course, but Tom texted me updates from inside. Someone brought up the gnome incident of 2019. Treasurer says legal fees hit 37 grand this year. Scowling a vote. It's unanimous, she's out. Through my window I saw headlights sweeping across the clubhouse, people spilling out laughing and chatting. Then Margaret's car screeched out of the parking lot, tires screaming like her pride. The next week was surprisingly quiet. The new HOA board sent formal notice removing her. Her pool key was deactivated, her special parking spot revoked. Then came the lawsuit. She had to reimburse $25,000 for legal fees spent on her personal vendettas. Tom said she opened the letter in the cereal aisle at Target, read it, muttered, "This can't be legal," and stormed out. A for sale sign went up the next morning. She sold her house at a loss and moved 2 towns over to another HOA, stricter this time. Tried to run for their board. 0 votes. I heard later that the Maple Ridge Lawyers page added a new section titled Unauthorized HOA Actions, featuring her as the example. Someone even started a Facebook meme page called Margaret Piton's Greatest Hits. It went viral in the neighborhood within days. Now, sitting here on my porch watching the same street that once felt hostile finally calm down, I can breathe again. My garden's growing. The air smells like pine and freedom. Yesterday I got a letter from the new HOA board, polite, almost apologetic. A fruit basket, too. Thank you for your patience during our recent transition, it said. While not officially under our jurisdiction, we look forward to being good neighbors. I set the letter down and just laughed. I didn't move here to start a war. I just wanted a quiet life, a tiny home, some peace. But maybe peace doesn't come from avoiding conflict. It comes from standing your ground when someone like Margaret decides your dream doesn't fit their mold. Sometimes justice doesn't wear a robe or bang a gavel. Sometimes it comes in the form of an $800 fine, a $25,000 settlement, and a petty tyrant finally packing her bags.